Aquaculture, also called fish farming, fish culture or malculture, is the propagation and husbandry of aquatic plants, animals and other organisms for commercial, recreation and scientific purposes. Uganda produces up to 15 tons of fish from aquaculture, including production from small-scale fish farmers, emerging commercial fish farmers, stocked community water reservoirs, and minor lakes. Uganda mainly exports Nile perch, with the European Union being the leading market destination, followed by Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan as other market destinations. The main destinations of Uganda exports on fish fillets were Belgium, Netherlands, United Arab Emirates, Israel, and Italy. In Uganda, fishing is widely done on a large scale in Sese Islands and a group of 84 islands. The biggest and most active of these is Bugala Island in Kalangala district and Ikomi Island in Mukono district. Fishing is the principal economic activity on these islands. The major problems faced by the fishing industry are climate change, pollution, and overfishing. The greatest threat to sustainability of inland fisheries resources is environmental degradation, aquatic pollution, destruction of fish habitats, water abstraction, and impacts on aquatic biodiversity are all increasing. Fish farming is very profitable with proper planning and good management. 1 million Ugandan shillings investment in cage fish farming could easily result to 5 million Ugandan shillings of pure profit within 6 months. Fish farm does not cause any environmental hazard. You can set up fish farm anywhere, including residential areas. This needs at least 3 million Ugandan shillings to construct and about 1.2 million Ugandan shillings to stock. To grow each fish to about 1 kg in 8 months, it feeds on at least 3,000 Ugandan shillings each. The world's hunger for fish is expected to almost double by 2050 due to growing affluence and populations, according to an assessment that anticipates the demand being fed by a big rise in farmed seafood. Let's find out more about fish farming from our farmer Joseph Grace Makalas. This is Farm Smart on Smart 24 TV, and my name is Chris Chitaka Hamans.
Okay, Mr. Chris, I welcome you to Grace Fish Farm.
Yes.
It is in Bombo, Undeje. This is Grace Fish Farm. We majorly deal in fish farming as the major business on this farm. Grace Fish Farm was founded in 2009. At first, we are renting somewhere in Katikam, but right now we are on fully our own land.
Yes, I'm privileged to meet you, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Grace.
Okay, Mr.
So, but before we go forward, let us start from fish pound. How do we start like?
Before you start fish farming, the first thing, as any other business, you have to consult people who have technical knowledge in fish farming. Like at Grace Fish Farm, you have to consult those people, not just a matter of finding ponds, finding water, any water source, so that you stock your fish in those ponds, mud ponds where they have removed the sand, where they have removed the clay soil for making bricks. No. It is a process. The first thing, we have to do water testing before. Let us assume farmer X or farmer Junju has his land. So the first step before you do anything, you have to plan. As any other business, you have to be with a vision. So before you sit down with your technical person and you try to look this thing, the aqua farming as a business. Now, before you do excavation, you have to first put into knowledge, or you have to first think and ask yourself, I'm going to start with how many pieces of fish? Like in any other business, feeds is a bit expensive, feeds also disturb. Like let us give an example, people in poultry. You'll find that people in poultry, they also have that problem of feeds. So you do not just come up and say, I'm going to start with 10,000. No, you have to first consider your pockets or your finances. Does your finances are able to sustain the 10,000 pieces of fish you want to start with, or you are not? From there, you consider the water source.
Let me first put a pause on you. Like how much is this, like someone is meant to have, like
Any person who can raise a tunny in fish farming, we say that you are in business. So to raising a tunny in ponds or in cages, at least you have to be with 2,000 pieces of fish.
And how much money? Like how much?
We can't calculate right now money, because in figures, because we have certain viewers on Farm Smart who already have land where they can start from. So let us start with that person who has already land. You have land as a capital already, land is available.
Yeah.
So when you have land, as you already have your land, so now we are going to start with excavation. Let us assume you have consulted a technical person, you have consulted, let us assume you have come like on Grace Fish Farm,
yeah.
You have come. So right now, we have gone to your site, we are done with the site survey, everything is done. So excavation, when excavation is completely done, it can cost you around 2.5 to 3 M. That is excavation without stocking. That is a standard pond of 50 by 100 or 50 by 30, depending on the area. We can talk about here in Wachiso, we can talk about in Iruwero, that is the minimum. But people who are going to hire a service, you are in the up country like Fort Potro, you are in Mbarara and Tungamo, the prices will change depending on the distance. So when let us talk about a person who is going to raise, let us say, 5,000 pieces of trapia. That person on a monthly basis, on cost of feeds only, this person will need around 300 to 500, depending on the company or the type of feeds he's going to use.
So now that is 3.5 something.
Yeah. So on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
So in ponds, when we are going to feed these fish, automatic, the fish to reach to the market size or to the table size, it will be around 7 to 8 months. They will be good for market. So before we reach to the market, we shall have to first excavate. When we are going to excavate these ponds, automatic, the key things which must be included on excavation, we have to consider the pH of the soil, we have to consider the water quality, because before we go further, those people who are viewing us on Farm Smart, what you have to know, what you have to consider, the water quality will determine the growth rate of your fish 60%. So if you have poor water source, if the water management is poor, automatic, the results or the end of the production, you will also have poor yields. So automatic, you have to consider that first. Your water, how are you going to treat your water, the water source, how are you going to prepare this water source? Because right now, when we are planning in excavation, we are planning up to the end of the season or year to year. January, we plan in those days where we have much rains. Take an example, in November, in Uganda, mostly, we always have much rains. But when we come back in January, February, March, most of the areas here in Central, you'll find that we have scarce rain. We have scarce rain. That means we are in a drought. So when you are planning fish farming, you have to plan for the two seasons. You have to plan for the dry season and the rainy season. Why? In dry season, you will lose water. In rainy season, you will have much water. Most of the viewers, our viewers on Farm Smart, they will tell you that when rain comes, much rains, they will face what? They will face floods. Again, those people who have faced floods, it means that they never planned their farm very well. That's why in the beginning I said, and most of the viewers know this, the name of this show, it is called the Farm Smart. Their meaning, you should farm when you are smart.
So basically, first tell us which seasons are good.
The seasons, all the seasons are good, but have you planned it very well? Take an example. People in Ivoire say when it rains for them, they will cry. Here in the village, for us, we shall celebrate. Yeah. So have you planned this season very well? So that's why I'm encouraging my farmers. You have to plan for these two seasons. Earlier, before they come, make sure that you plan for them. Take an example. When you are constructing these ponds, we have to have the flood control channels around the farm or around the pond to make sure that when we receive much water, they can flow without flooding our ponds.
So before we go there, first tell us now, let us first start with digging the ponds.
Now,
how big, the length, height, and then...
The length and the weight, the height. Yeah. So when you are digging the pond, make sure that the pond has slopes, and it is dikes, as you are seeing in this pond. Yeah. And make sure that the depth differs, but the deep end should not exceed to 1.5, or in feet it will be the shallow end will be 3 feet. The deep end will be 4 feet. So as when you are constructing the pond, make sure that you create a slope on the bottom of the pond. Why do we create a slope? Make sure that, why do we create a slope? You will find that when we came on this pond, we were on the other point where we have the entry point of the water, or what we call the inlet pipe. Why do we feed the pond? Why do we feed our fish on the shallow end? All animals have that behavior. When it is time for feeding, or even in school, when the bell for lunch rings, people get excited. They know they are going for lunch. So when you stand on the shallow end, when your fish is used to that, you will find that this fish is attracted to what? This fish will use much energy when they are coming to eat. That means they are stretching their muscles. They are climbing a certain hill within the pond. Yeah. So they are stretching their what? Their muscles when they are coming to eat. So after eating, they will be relaxing their muscles. They are coming again on the slope. Yeah. That's why I'm saying that when you are digging a pond, make sure that there is a certain slope you create at the bottom to allow this fish to exercise. Again, after when everything needs exercise, even as human beings, you will find that after eating or after a certain hours, people will say, go and stretch your what? Your muscles so that you live healthy. Yeah. So if you feed your fish, most of the people will say that when I have my ponds, but the fish doesn't grow well. You have good feeds, you have good breed, you also, but again, the house or the structure where this fish sleeps, you'll find that, or where they reside, you'll find that it is not a well constructed, it is not a fish pond, it is just a pond which was dug for another purpose. Yeah. So a pond which is well dug, it must be dug when it has a slope. We have these dikes. Why do we have these dikes? The major reason why do we have these dikes, we allow this oxygen which is moving. That's why when you look around this water, when you observe very well, you will find that on this there are water bubbles. Most of the farmers, the mistake they do, those who are watching us on Farm Smart, you'll find that someone has dug a pond, again he has not leveled After removing the soil, they have excavated. The place is not leveled. If you look around here, the place is totally leveled. Why? We have not created a hill. We have not created walls to block oxygen from entering. There is certain oxygen which you can't observe by eyes. But when you look on the water, you will see waves. Again, what you have to put into mind, even if you have never gone to school, that anything which you do, you are copying someone who has ever done it. In aqua farming, for us, we are copying God. When someone gives you the aerial view of Lake Victoria, you'll find that all those people who have ever gone to the beaches, you'll find that there is a shallow end and a deep end in the water still. So when you move, that's why we create a pond which looks like a bit like a lake. It has a shallow end and a deep end.
So now tell us what of the height?
The height.
The height, yeah.
The height. We say the height. It depends on the number of the fish you want to raise.
Okay.
So it will depend on the owner and what is the vision for you. You are starting. What is your plan? Your business plan. You are starting this aqua farming as a business, or you want to start with like how many numbers. So the height will depend how many numbers you want to start with. So we do not have a standard that this must be this.
So do different types of fish have different types of ponds, or they are
automatic? The different types will differ. Take an example. We have the Nile perch. Waters will differ. The depth, it will need too much waters, and the depth will go what? The depth will go high. So what will happen? What will happen still? Even the catfish, the Nile trapia, or what we call the ON, also the depth and the quality of water will differ. You look around, when we walk through, you will see that the water where we have catfish as a major species we are rearing, you'll find that it is a bit dirty. And again, where we have trapia as the major species which we are rearing, you'll find that it is a bit clean and it's a bit green. So let us talk about that person. We are done with construction. We have leveled our ground. What is a must on the pond? We have to put water pipes. These water pipes will differ. When you look so keen, you will find that the inlet pipe, most of the farmers do this mistake. The inlet pipe will be small than the outlet pipe. Why? Because these two pipes differ and they have different uses on this pond. Take an example. The inlet pipe, it just allows in water within the what? Within the pond. It adds new fresh water to allow oxygen, to allow more oxygen within the pond. Again, the outlet pipe, it reduces water within the what? Within the pond, or it controls floods. So as a must, when you are done with the construction, you have put your pipes, make sure that the inlet pipe is smaller than the outlet pipe to avoid, when you put the pipes when they are equal, you will have problems, because the water you receive and the water going out, it will be the same. Automatically, there will be competition, which will result into floods. And again, after floods, what will happen? The ponds, the water will wash away your fish.
And what is the source of the water?
The source of the water depends on the area. Right now, here we are in Indeje, Ruero. All of us know that Ruero is a cattle corridor. So because it is a cattle corridor, we do not have a lot of rivers. We do not have we do not have a single lake in Ruero. So when we do not have a single lake in Ruero, any person, you come into a wetland like this one, but you dig your own shallow well. So you connect pipes to make sure that the water is moving automatically. You connect what? You connect pipes so that water moves throughout.
So you get your water from wells?
We dig our wells so that we can have a sustainable water source.
So now tell us about the types of fish that you have here.
With the type of fish we have right now, we have catfish. We also have trapia.
Why? Why do you focus on catfish?
Why do we focus on trapia and the catfish? Right now, when you look, what forces us to do? The demand. most of the people, these are the most species they are demanding. And when you look around within Uganda, most of the people and most of the regions, take an example, our people, the Seventh-day Adventists, you'll find that there are certain species of fish they do not eat. So when we are doing production, that's why we said when we are beginning that when you are doing this, make sure that you have a business plan. So when you have a business plan, you also look, in the business plan, we also include the market. What you are going to produce, which weight, people are demanding which weight. Take an example. Most of the buyers we have, they are willing to pay a certain size of fish, and they are able, because you can will, but when you do not have the what? The capabilities to pay for that. Someone can take an example. Mr. Chris, you may say, my dream car is a Land Rover. But right now, you are not able, at this juncture, you can't. So right now, you can afford let us say a womb, you can afford any simple car, or what we call a model car. So right now, most of the market, they can demand this. And they can pay, because remember, these are costs.
So you want to tell me that the biggest market for fish in Uganda is tilapia and then catfish?
Catfish, even in Uganda, there are very few people are demanding. Okay. Catfish, majorly, we are selling it to Congolese. And most of the farmed fish, when you look around, when you move around Uganda, most of the farmed fish goes to Congo and Kenya. Automatic, we have put our, before we feed the fish, we have to put, we are done with the piping. Now we have to go to liming the pond. Why do we lime the pond? It is a major thing. Most of the farmers here in Uganda, they skip this thing. And at the end of the day, it will not give you good results. As a must, we have to lime our pond. When you lime your pond, you make, the major reason why we lime the pond, remember, most of the farmed fish is done within swamps, and within the swamps we have many wild species. So you have to lime your pond so that you kill those wild species within the what? Within the within this water, within the farm. So you have to kill all the species to make sure that you are going to feed only the species, the good species, or what the good breed you have brought, or which you have bought from Grace Fish Farm. So automatic, after liming, we have to do the fertilizing of the what? The fertilizing of the pond. Why do we fertilize? Remember, I have said, liming, you kill unwanted fish or wild fish, you kill snails and all things of sort of. So why do we need to fertilize? When we fertilize this pond, automatic, we are creating aqua grass or aqua planktons within the pond. Remember, the best key feeds for the fish is those aqua grass or the planktons within the water. So any farmer watching us at Farm Smart, remember, the reasons why these people of Smart 24, they have brought this program up to make sure that when you are farming it in a smart way. When you do not fertilize your pond, it means you have not created the planktons within the water. It means you have skipped. This fish will not get the best. Take an example. In a human, remember when we are in school, they say that the best food for babies is breast what? Milk. Any kid who did not have a chance to breastfeed from the mom, you will find that this kid, when he grows, he will be he will be sick all the time. He will not be healthy. So even if your fish is not in a fertilized pond, you will find that this fish, its growth and its health will be poor, because you have skipped the other basic thing of fertilizing the pond.
So now tell us, when you put the fish already in the pond already, so at different stages, do you have to change them and put them in different ponds, or you just...
Now, when we are stocking, we have reached on the level of stocking. Make sure when you are stocking, those who are watching us at Farm Smart, make sure that you get a good breed, because even in fish, we said tilapia and catfish, but even tilapia has its breed. Even catfish also has breeds. So make sure that when you are buying, let us start on Grace Fish Farm, make sure that you are buying good breed. Why do you need to buy good breed? It means you, at the end of the day, you have good what? Results. So when you have got the good breed, let us say in Trapia we have your ON. When you have your ON, what will happen? You have your ON, it means that you have brought your fish, let us say 5,000. In the morning, the first day they will not eat. Let us look at the second day. Yeah. You have stocked, you have already stocked within the what? Within the pond. You have brought them, now you have already stocked. Make sure that when you do not have people who are sleeping on the farm, make sure that these ponds are covered with nets. Here we have these goose. The goose help us to chase away what? Birds. So make sure that when you have stocked, the second day we are going to bring feeds. Yeah. When you bring feeds, make sure that you bring feeds with the nutrients. Remember, this fish is enclosed in one area.
Do we have like specific feeds? Types of
we
feeds?
have specific. We have very many. We have variety. We have those who are coming from, which are imported from Smania, Vietnam, Indonesia, Netherlands. Very many. Fish business these days is a bit grown. It has grown. So we also have those which are locally produced within Uganda. Yeah. So the sizes of fish will eat different sizes depending on the nutrients which are the nutrients of feeds which they have added within the what? Within these feeds. So when you are buying, make sure those people are watching us on Farm Smart, make sure before you buy feeds, you also look at the market. Do not buy feeds, because those who are selling feeds, they are also they are in business. Do not buy feeds which exceeds the market price, the real market price of a kilo of fish in the real market.
How do you know? Like,
we said you have to be with a business plan. Okay. And in the business plan, you have to also do market research. Yeah. In the market research, you have to, do not just farm at the end of at the time of harvesting and you say, but what would be the real size of the real price of a kilo of fish? Yeah. So in this time, you have to ask yourself that a kilogram of, let us take the current price. The current price of Trapia right now, it is 8,000 a kilo. So when you are buying feeds, do not buy feeds which are 8,000 per kilo, or do not buy 9,000 or 10,000. When you are excited, you will say that, Grace was on TV, he said that, let us do, fish business is good, is profitable. Yeah. For you excited, you just go and buy feeds because you are just excited. So first look in the real market, or where people you are producing to. When will they, at the end of the day, be able to pay for this your cost production? Will they be able? So, when you buy feeds, make sure that you buy feeds which have normal prices. Yeah. Again, make sure that when you buy feeds, these feeds have pure nutrients or your nutrients. Take an example, a fish which is young, 3 months, it must feed on feeds which have 40% of the protein content. So when you are buying feeds, before you buy feeds, first consider the protein content you are taking home. First consider the type of feeds you are taking, and its nutrients within. Look, read on the sack, where are they made from, what is the price at the end of the day. Because for one fish to give you a kilo, it must feed on 1.3 of the feeds. So it means, for you to have a ton, your fish would have consumed at least the minimum. It will be 800 kg of feeds.
So basically, someone has to do research.
You research as a must before you do anything.
So how do you feed them, like in the time, like
morning? We feed these fish. We feed the fish from in the morning hours, from 10 when the temperature have risen. That is their first break. We feed them at lunchtime from 1 to 2. And again, late in the evening, we feed them 4 to 10 p.m. late in the evening. That is the normal time we are feeding. So when it is when the fish has not matured for, let us say, like 3 months, when it has not matured for 3 months, it must 3 months to 5, it must feed 3 times a day. Make sure that you feed your fish 3 times a day, in the morning, in the midday, and late in the evening. As we human beings, we take breakfast, lunch, and supper. So as a must, that is that. You have to do, that is the feeding.
Okay. Yes, basically we have learned a lot from Mr. Grace about fish farming. But basically we have seen how to start, the steps to follow, basically the food to feed. And the main thing he talked about was doing research before you start anything. Do research so that you can get good results at the end. So in our next episode, we shall be basically talking about marketing, how to take care of the fish, and a lot more about aquaculture. My name is Chris Chitakaman, and this is Farm Smart.